In November 2002, the company Disaronno launched an inventive ad campaign targeted at London commuters. However, it had to be stopped early due to concerns from the UK's Home Office. Why? I'll say that again. In November 2002, the company Disaronno launched an inventive ad campaign targeted at London commuters. However, it had to be stopped early due to concerns from the UK's Home Office. Why? And just for those who don't know, Home Office is the section of the government that deals with everything kind of internal.
Yes, as opposed to ruling the rest of the world, which is what Brits try to get up to whenever they're not thinking about what goes on in their own borders, right?
We don't do that anymore.
Well, I remember the name Disaronno, and that's all. So that's really helpful for everyone. I can't even remember what the company does.
It's a liquor brand, isn't it? It is a hard liquor brand of some kind. It's amaretto. I looked it up. Are you not allowed to look up things that are not
Don't look it up.
Oh, wow.
Don't look it up.
I didn't look up the answer to the question. I looked up what Disaronno is. I figured that's allowed, right? No?
Absolutely. I've realised we've never actually had to give that instruction to the guests. You know what? That's on us. No one has ever been inventive enough to start Googling while on the podcast.
Yes, like Captain Kirk, I changed the conditions of the test.
I feel like I'm getting stuck on the Home Office because it's still not clear to me what the Home Office is. So I'm like, Home Office, what is that? But I feel like we should move beyond that and just think of weird ad campaigns.
Well, hold on now. It's 2002. Let's think about the year. So terrorism would have been foremost on the minds of any transit system administrator in the Western world in 2002, right?
I thought about that, and then I was like, surely the answer on this podcast will be more fun than terrorism.
I just sometimes one of the guests accidentally comes up with a tagline for this show, and I just feel like lateral, more fun than terrorism may not be great.
Surely more fun than terrorism.
Yeah, exactly. Or parenthetically, one hopes at the end of it. You can do that. Did we say it was on the tube? It's a transit system ad?
I think we would assume, like
London commuters, yes.
Yeah, so maybe big double-decker buses and the tube as well.
Well, you don't want people drinking amaretto on the double-decker bus, right? That seems kind of self-evident.
Where are you getting amaretto from? Have I missed something here?
That's because I looked it up, because I broke the rules. Disaronno is a kind of amaretto, but I shouldn't know that, because I shouldn't have looked that up.
You should not know that, but it is helpful as part of the question because all else we had was Stuart going, I remember the name and not much else. So it is helpful in this case.
So that is the company that did the ad campaign.
Yes.
Oh, are you raising the possibility that could be for a Disaronno product other than amaretto? Like maybe one of some other product in the Disaronno family of fine products?
I mean, Adam, are you on the About Us section of their website? Could you just tell us some different things that they've made?
I would be if I'd not been put in my place. I'm trying to toe the line.
They weren't giving out free samples, were they?
No, but that's actually slightly close to the truth.
So were they giving out some sort of branded product that wasn't a free sample? Like, I don't know, a Disaronno hat or something?
An almond? Almonds are technically toxic.
Are they?
That's true. Yeah. If you eat enough of them. That's where cyanide comes from, I think.
Yeah. You have to process them to make them not deadly. Yeah. So maybe they were just giving like raw, unprocessed almonds out on the tube, and people were dying of toxic shock several days later. I don't know.
Amaretto being an almond liqueur. Like there's been a jump there that the non-drinkers in the audience won't know.
Hey, maybe that's it. Maybe because it's a fragrant. It's a fragrant liquor. Was it like a scratch and sniff billboard? Like they didn't want people like, sniffing the side of the bus to smell the almond?
Do you think it was the early days of nut reactions? People were allergic to whatever they were giving out, causing some kind of mass medical event.
You've hit pretty much everything needed to solve this. You're right, it's an almond liqueur. You're right that it's on the tube, and you're right that this is 2002, and perhaps people are more sensitive about terrorism. Put all that together, and you've got it.
Yes, put those things together in the way that they naturally go together.
It wasn't scratch and sniff, but there was something very close to it.
What's close to scratch and sniff? I mean, you're not going to make an advert people lick. That would be madness, surely.
Punch and lick, yeah.
Yeah. Bang on the side of a bus.
Do you remember anthrax? Like, why haven't we spoken about anthrax anytime since 2002? Is it a powdered form of amaretto that we're worried about anthrax?
I just like, why don't we talk about anthrax anymore?
That's the second tagline.
That's
to
the
your
sort of thing
show.
they were worried about. That's absolutely the sort of thing they were worried about. And it wasn't scratch and sniff, but you're very close. You're sort of half of that.
Is it a snort kind of scenario?
We're giving out amaretto snuff to everyone. Yeah.
Is the olfactory system, the sensory system chiefly involved here, Mr. Scott?
Yes, it is. It wasn't powder, but it was something.
They were pumping a smell out of adverts, and it was worrying people.
And people were thinking it was a poison gas attack, yeah.
Wow, it's like when you see one of those 4D movies and they're shooting water at you out of the screen and things like that. It was like that, but in advertising.
Yep.
Yes, I love it when my movie squirts at me. I love that.
An early innovation that was not welcome.
They were pumping the smell of amaretto liqueur into the tube.
That's foul.
There's one other thing that you've mentioned that explains why the government freaked out about this.
That seems like enough.
Is it because people thought it smelled like cyanide or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Almonds have the smell of cyanide. And
Lovely.
so the British government stepped in and said, could you not pump the smell of cyanide into the tube, please?
How is this even approved?
And that must have been a great meeting.
They need to tighten that process a little.
Yeah, so the funny thing is that I believe it's not that cyanide smells like almonds, it's that almonds smell like cyanide, because cyanide is derived from almonds or from very adjacent plant parts.
I have a note that says unprocessed almonds contain amygdalin, which breaks down into hydrogen cyanide when ingested. So
there it is.
The smell of almonds and the smell of cyanide are close enough that the British government said, could you please not put that smell in the tube?